55%. That's the rate that American farmers have been declaring bankruptcy over and above last year. 55% more bankruptcies of American farmers.
Oh, I'm a soybean farmer that voted for Trump, and I'm begging him to stop this trade war. Oh, look at you. You're so different. You're so strong. You're so brave. See, you're like a 10th generation soybean farmer, and apparently the president of like the American Soybean Farmers Association. You know that last time he was in office, soybean farmers lost $20 billion because of his tariffs. And our tax money had to bail you out. And you voted for him again, and now you're like, oh, I'm begging him, please stop. This was in Project 2025. Hello. So tired of you people. I saw a video of the cheese lady, the cheese slice lady. I saw a video of her like at a store pointing to cheese and saying, haha, see, some of us can laugh at ourselves. You, right? Glaring red flags. You ignored all of it, and now you're like, I'm a soybean farmer and I'm begging him, please stop doing exactly what you said you were gonna do. Oh, I'm the cheese lady. I'm the cheese lady. See, I can laugh at myself. Obviously, I got tricked, but I can laugh at myself. There are people whose lives have truly been impacted by his whims. Cheese lady, we don't need you to laugh at yourself. We need you to apologize. What, soybean farmer? We need you to say, I am such an asshole. It was crystal clear. He said, I'm going to do this to you. Now I'm like, apologize to the whole country.
The Trump administration and went to Augusta on Wednesday to protest the funding cuts and unpredictability that his USDA is causing for these farms. 150 farmers and supporters protested outside the state capitol, driving tractors and livestock trailers and carrying signs to draw attention to how President Trump is hurting Maine farms. We've told you before about how Trump's USDA has broken signed contracts that it had with farmers across the country.
Now, if Joe Biden already bailed you guys out the first time because Donald Trump screwed you over his first term in office, you guys seen what the fuck he did to you, and then you voted him back in again, and you think that we're supposed to have some sympathy points, or you going on CNN crying because he's f***ing your shit up again? Really? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. The farmers and motherfuckers Nebraska, Wisconsin, all of these states that are being affected, and they're trying to come on social media and the news stations crying now for sympathy points because they f***ed themselves over by voting for this orange little bitch. Nah, it's too late for that shit now. Suck it the f*** up and struggle for the next 4 years.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the...
No, the hell he doesn't. During the last trade war, we saw an increase in farm bankruptcies. We lost 90% of our soybean sales the week the tariffs went on. And that was just playing FAFO in one country. Now the whole world's tariff. I dropped my phone. Soybeans are currently down 28 today. Corn was leaking lower, about 5 to 7 cents, and now it's looking at like it's 2 to 1 penny across the board. Crude's down to $61.99, which means no drill, baby, drill. Live cattle are down 4, feeder are down 6. Hogs are down 3, cotton's down almost 3, and the dollar can't decide if it wants to be weaker or stronger. Trump doesn't love the American farm. He doesn't understand how tariffs work.
In agriculture, there's about 85% of what happens on my farm that is completely out of my control.
Yeah.
So I have to do the very best I can at managing that 15% of inputs and costs and labor and marketing and signing the best contract and doing the best job that I can, and leave the other 85% up to the good Lord. And that's all we can do.
I don't know how many times I have to say it, the 78 million are more apt to grow than to dissipate. No matter what you do, those people will have a reason why they should vote for Donald Trump. And they will stand on that reason until their very last breath. That is a cult. There's no politician, I don't care if it's Jasmine Crockett, I don't care if it's Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or Barack Obama, none of them would I stand with until my last breath. I might follow Colin Powell into war. Oh, hell yeah, I'll do that as a military, as an ex-Marine. But those politicians, no.
There's stories all over the internet about farmers going bankrupt across the country. And I want you to know, I want to feel sorry for you. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to care at all. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because typically I have empathy, but I'm really, really tired of telling you farmers and you people that are in rural parts of the United States, I'm tired of telling you what your vote does to you. Yeah, I mean, you guys in the red states, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're broke. You don't have any money. West Virginia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, you get my point. You're broke. And yet you keep voting for the Republican Party that wants nothing to do with you. And farmers, guess what? You're included. But you keep voting red, and now you want me to feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. I just can't.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Now, it has been several months of MAGA farmers crying. MAGA farmers, they are regretting voting against their own interest. We have seen MAGA farmers, they are going bankrupt, and also majority of them, they are losing their farms. These people, they voted against their own interests. These people, they voted against deportation to the migrant people. And these people, they know very well that migrant people, they're the ones who are helping them in their farms. And these people, they went ahead and vote so that these people can be deported. So they thought that black people will come and help them in their farms. They thought that black Americans, they don't have jobs. So the black Americans will come and do the work that immigrant people, they were doing to the MAGA farmers. But right now, majority of black people, they have refused to go and help them in their farms. Majority of the immigrant people also, they are vanishing overnight. Majority of them, they are not showing up in the MAGA lands to the MAGA farmers to help them in their farms. So we have seen these farmers, they are now coming out crying because of what they did. So kindly, guys, I want you to watch this compilation of video, then I'll be back with more comment. I'm your host, Dash Lifestyle. Kindly remember to give a video a thumbs up. All credits goes to the original creator of the video.
So I found this, and it says more U.S. farmers filed for bankruptcy in the first 3 months of 2025 than in all of 2024. The 259 filings marked the highest yearly total since 2021. This can't be true, is it? Unfortunately, it is, because this comes from a farming website where it says farm bankruptcies this year already exceed 2024 levels. More farms nationwide filed for bankruptcy in the first 3 months of the year this year than across the entirety of 2024. 259 filings in the first 3 months. And the article cites the person who is talking and a research study from Arkansas, and it is devastating. But I think there was somewhere, did I hear about this, that was going to possibly happen with Donald Trump back in office? Maybe that was us who were talking about it, because there was warnings of this, that bankruptcies for farmers and farms going out of business would hit an all-time high because of Donald Trump, his tariffs, and the way he does things. At what point are the megas going to admit Donald Trump is doing more harm than good? You couple this with just destroying food from the USAID for people who need it instead of giving it out. He's not on a very good roll right now. Well, I would say he's not on a good roll ever, but that's me. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is good? What do you think the MAGAs are going to say about this? Are they going to say anything about this? Comment, like, share, tell everybody. Spread this word. What we need is to talk about these things that are happening and how they are hurting U.S.-born citizens, and continue to put this shine, that light, right on Donald Trump.
About 85% of what happens on my farm that is completely out of my control.
Yeah.
So I have to do the very best I can at managing that 15% of inputs and cost and labor and marketing and signing the best contract and doing the best job that I can, and leave the other 85% up to the good Lord. And that's all we can do, whether it's weather or disease or a hailstorm or a pandemic or administration. And we just weather the storm.
I mean, in North Carolina, every year we prepare for a major hurricane.
Right.
You know, every 3 or 4 years something drastic's going to happen. Yeah. So we're used and we're accustomed to that. Now it's just that much more challenging that we got to get through it and know how to and weather this economic shock, this storm.
This is the thing I think that confounds people. You're talking about acts of God, acts of nature, hurricanes, rainstorms. This isn't that. This is a person in the White House making decisions. Does that frustrate you at all?
In the world now, we need certainty and we need consistency. And we, like Brandon said earlier, we've got to have trade. All of our markets are depressed right now. And the only way to really succumb to that is we've got to be sending stuff on boats going across the seas.
Yeah.
But I think that's also where part of not just, the president comes into play, but I think that's where also a lot of the cabinets of staff and all the people that he has, and also, all your other department agencies come into play and making sure we have those relationships.
Do you think the president has that?
I mean, I think he knows he's got people in place, and I'm hoping that that's what he can rely on.
I would rather face this trade war than a Category 4 or 5 storm coming off the coast of Wilmington straight towards it.
So as a Nebraskan, the farmers predominantly voted for the current president. They also voted for Pete Ricketts and Deb Fisher, who aren't doing anything for them. And China announced that they're not going to buy corn and soybeans today, or I think they've done it over the last couple days. I think it was last week. Because of the trade war, their current president that they voted for decided to wage, a trade war with China. They're not going to buy your goods. And I know that a lot of you have said that you want aid. Well, as a taxpayer who lives in Nebraska who did vote for the right candidate, I don't think I want my tax dollars going to bail you out. I think you actually should sit in your decisions and feel the effects. You want us to. Every time we vote for a Democrat and you say they're horrible. So at this point in time, I'm going to tell you the same thing you say to me back. You wanted to vote for this. Now you get to deal with the consequences. And I don't think I should have to bail you out, because I work hard for my money too, and my dollars shouldn't bail out your bad decisions. So yeah, today I'm telling you, the farmers here in Nebraska, you need to deal with your own decisions. It's your consequences, not mine, and I don't want to pay for them.
Well, I have some mixed feelings about these farmers that are getting screwed over by these tariffs. There's part of me that wants to laugh in their faces and say, congratulations, you got exactly what you voted for, bro. And then there's another side of me that understands that these people are just too simple and don't really understand what they did.
You don't want to hear the price I'm about to give you. I said, well, give it to me anyways. He said, each of those steaks now is going to be $1.74 a piece. I said, well,
double the price.
We can't do that. And that's going to be impossible. So that's just to let you know a little bit of what we're going through out here on our farm and what farmers in general are going through. These tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump.
Now, if you didn't catch that at the end, he said, these tariffs aren't the best thing for our country, and I voted for Trump. These people don't really pay attention to the news. These are people that just listen to what Earl says down at the diner, and he's voted Republican his whole life because they're the party of God. They're trying to compare these tariffs to a natural disaster, but this isn't a natural disaster. This was a decision made by one man who is screwing them over, and they're just like, well, it's in the Lord's hands. What can we do? And this, again, is why religion is so dangerous. They're willing to accept financial ruin because the Lord's got this, so I'm not going to be worried about what Trump decides to do. And my friends over at the Cowboy Church told me that God put him in office for a reason. And that's just it. When you think that there's a supernatural force just watching over you at all times, nothing matters. Your family might starve. Well, if that's what God wants, who am I to argue with him?
American workers and American taxpayers have been taken advantage of for multi-generation, for decades. And it's time for somebody to stand up and put us first and put the country first and do what's best for the country, not what's best for the politicians.
Even if you as a farmer suffer.
That's right.
I mean, some people would hear that and be quite surprised that you're prepared to put your livelihood, your family's livelihood, on the line for the sake of politics.
Well, that's my duty as for being the head of my household. I've got to do what I got to do, what's going to be better for the future, better for the kids. It's not about today. It's about the long term. The long game is where the rewards are going to be.
But don't the price of tariffs and what happens in commodity markets like soybean, doesn't that affect you in the short term and affect your ability to provide for your family?
Look, tariffs will probably have a detrimental effect on soybean price in the near future. In the long term, it'll probably work out. I'm a farmer. I deal with bad weather. I deal with dry weather. I deal with torrential rains. We deal with hurricanes. What's a tariff going to do? You know, I got to raise a crop. If I was worried, I'd stay home and not raise a crop. If I was worried about it, I still got to get out there and raise my crop to get the price. If you don't get the yield, it doesn't make any difference. You know, I got to deal with all these other things. What's a tariff? I can't control that, so it is what it is.
There's this clip going around where MSNBC interviewed North Carolina farmers about Trump, trade wars, and their markets. And as a North Carolina farmer, I'd like to talk about what happened there. I am a small farmer who's worked in agriculture 27 years, including helping other farmers on profitability and growing their markets. I want agriculture to succeed. And the way we get there is by being clear-eyed about what our opportunities are and how our votes will impact what those financial opportunities are. Unfortunately, a lot of my colleagues have allowed themselves to get stuck in an echo chamber. And I say unfortunately because that echo chamber makes it real tough to make clear-headed decisions about your own finances, never mind farm policy for the whole country. And that MSNBC interview is a really good example, unfortunately. Any farm bailouts should come with really strict audits and fiscal responsibility controls to make sure that money gets used to get businesses back on track. It's important to understand the farmers who showed up to be interviewed that day are not struggling little poor folks. They're big old money around here. And it so happens that both of them were born into families that built up multi-generational fortunes and very large property holdings on tobacco, thanks to a New Deal program that guaranteed very high tobacco prices. That New Deal program stuck around until 2004. In farm years, that's yesterday. That could be why they don't seem that fazed by Trump destroying their markets with trade wars. To be frank, their family's wealth was not built by free enterprise. It was built by the American taxpayer. Those are just the facts. I certainly didn't make it that way. And then those two got born into that taxpayer-created wealth. So they've never had a chance to build the market skills to keep up in a free market anyway. To normal people who have to work for what we have, losing your export market to trade wars will feel like an emergency, because it is. But when your land, wealth, and position as rural spokesman is built on the taxpayer's back and inherited rather than earned, then asking for bailouts probably feels as American as apple pie. But I'm looking at farming's future, and I'm concerned that my colleagues do not realize the backlash that is brewing against agriculture right now because of behavior just like this. What do I mean by lacking business skills? Well, when that guy says 85% of success on my farm comes from God, no, it doesn't. God was very clear on what he thought on the matter. He said, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. Now, from a business point of view, as the farmer, we're the ones who decide what to grow. And two of that guy's biggest crops are tobacco and soybeans. Those are both crops that only work because China buys a lot of them. If I keep growing crops that are only worth anything because we can sell them to China, and then I vote for a guy who promised to start trade wars with China, that's reaping what you sow. And when someone who says 85% of his success comes from God comes begging me for money, that's how you know God ain't listening. Now, when he complains about environmental protection and how dealing with that is expensive, yeah, it is. That's why the taxpayers tried to pay you for that too. Biden put out a lot of free money, grants to help farmers do that. Those climate and conservation grants are one of the first things Trump had Elon Musk get rid of.
So this is a message to the MAGA farmers who are losing their farms because of the current administration. This is a message to the MAGA veterans and military who are watching their health care be destroyed and workers be fired and billions of dollars going from quality of life measures for troops to the border. This is a message for the MAGA poor who are watching their Medicare and their Medicaid and Social Security getting ready to get chopped. This is a message for all those people who thought things were going to get better. He doesn't care about you. They don't care about you. The Republican Party doesn't care about you. They needed you for your votes. Some still do. The guy at the top, he doesn't need you anymore. He only needed you to stay out of jail and make billions of dollars from becoming president again. And all the Republican representatives and senators, they just needed you to vote for him so that they could help get that giant tax cut for the oligarchs who fund them. They have never, ever cared about you. There's a part of you deep down that may be starting to realize this, and I hope you do, because your life will get better. All of these people, if you're living in red states and all of the indicators of quality of life continue to fall, wages don't rise, education continues to fail, and you're led by Republican leadership, the GOP, and it has never gotten better, only worse, while the rich inside your state get more and more corrupt and wealthy, this might be your time to do something about it. I'm just saying, maybe it was all a lie. Maybe they never cared about you and they never will. Just think about that.
Philip Ragland is the president of the American Soybean Association, and he just wrote an op-ed for a right-wing publication, and he said in there, quote, "Like many of my fellow farmers, I voted for President Donald Trump in the past 3 elections. The president won me over with his commitment to business-friendly tax cuts, as well as his track record of reducing regulation and cutting government spending. I am one of 500,000 soybean farmers in America who feels the pain. As a businessman, President Trump must know how urgent this is." Does he? Is he? Anyway, he goes on to say, the current trade war with China is a gamble with American livelihoods, especially for farmers, those of us who grew up with soil and sweat, who can't imagine doing anything else. Mr. President, I hope you hear our plea. Please make a deal with China now. Yeah, so he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. There is no deal to be had. As of now, the majority of Trump's base is sticking with him on these tariffs. But it's gonna catch up with them. They're gonna realize sooner or later there are no deals. He is not the deal maker. He screwed up. And no, China is not begging and pleading and knocking on our door.
All right. I'm a little bit fired up today, so bear with me. You and I are going to make change happen. We have a lunatic running the country, and it cannot be business as usual. I will not be sending my money through Act Blue any longer. I am so tired of getting these emails day in and day out from these high-profile names pleading for my $5, my $21, my $10. Emails proclaiming, we have till midnight to make our weekly goal, whatever the cause of the day is for the Act Blue money machine. The DCCC can kiss my D-triple backside. Also, I refuse to watch Morning Joe any longer on MSNBC. If Democrats want to know how to reach farmers, housewives, factory workers, tradesmen, and retirees, then just watch Morning Joe to see exactly what not to do. Social media like this right here is where people are engaging. We're no longer sitting on the sidelines watching wealthy cable network stars explain the problems to us. We know what it is. Bernie Sanders and AOC are the most visible ones that I see out there actively talking about the changes necessary for the common American working families like myself. Talking with each other and exchanging ideas, that's where the change will occur. Let me know your thoughts. What do you need to see happen today? So be sure to like, share, and comment. Engage. Peace.
I just went down the rabbit hole of watching a couple dozen videos of farmers that are on the brink of bankruptcy, thanks to Donald Trump pulling the rug out from underneath them by not honoring promises made by the Biden administration, because God knows he can't honor some other president's decision. So that's where we're at. Most of these farmers that I'm seeing, it's like the level of regret for their vote is pretty extraordinary. I mean, they're basically saying they're off the Trump train. All right, good. I'm glad you learned your lesson. I'm sorry it's too late. But then there's also this like small contingency of farmers, it seems, that are almost giving him the benefit of the doubt, like it was some kind of an oopsie and that he's going to fix it. I mean, I don't know. At this point, it's not just about farmers. I think everybody's got to take a really good look at this and realize what's happening. This is on purpose. This is your government trying to hurt you. This is your government saying, I'm going to put you in a situation where you will very likely have to start selling off your equipment and potentially your farm. And if you're doing that, you know, guess who's going to scoop them up? It's not a question. It's these corporations that are headed up by his largest political donors. It's not that hard to follow the breadcrumbs here. So why do you think he's doing it? He's doing it because it's a favor to his political donors who want to buy your farm for pennies on the dollar. That's why it's happening. So just know that your government is actively trying to put you into dire straits so that you'll give up everything you have so that they can buy it cheap. So if you've got a 5th generation organic soybean farm, they want it. I'm quite sure Monsanto will buy it and pump the ground full of Roundup and no problem. And it's not just farmers. That's just who we're talking about today. It's going to be everybody. He has no problem cutting veteran benefits. He has no problem cutting health benefits, Medicaid, Medicare. They're going to go after Social Security. If there was ever a more clear indication that this government doesn't value you, me, and citizens as people, find me a more clear example. And don't tell me about Hunter Biden's laptop or Hillary's emails. It's amazing how many times you can bring up these incredibly egregious things that this administration is doing, and the Trumpers still come back with like, well, at least he's not part of the Biden crime family. Like, okay. How was your farm under the Biden crime family? How's our economy? How are our institutions? Who does it help by eliminating the Department of Education? I still do not understand anyone who continues to back him. Granted, every day it's fewer and fewer people, but they're still there, more resolved than ever. And I think at some point people need to pay attention.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have seen how MAGA farmers, they are really going bankrupt, and also majority of them, they're losing their jobs, they're losing their farms simply because of voting against their own interests. These people, they went ahead and vote to punish black people and these other races and immigrant people, but without knowing that also they will be affected. So right now we are seeing they're coming out crying, begging help from black people. They are telling black people to come and help them in their farms. There is also a video whereby majority of MAGA, they went ahead and tried to to tell the nurses to come out and help them during the weekend and help them to remove the blueberries in the farm. So this is to tell you that MAGA farmers, they are frustrated right now, and all these challenges and the struggle that they are going through, it is because of they made a bad choice. These people, they didn't listen to black people. You know, black people, they want them not to vote in for this administration, but these people, they didn't listen. They knew that black people, they are going to be punished, and they knew that all this policy that this new government is coming in with, it will be favoring them, but the most people will be affected, it is the black people. But we have seen that the table now, it is turning around. They are being punished very well because of the bad choice that they did, and also they ignore the warnings from black people. So I have some of the comments here, guys, that I want to read for you. And also, guys, remember this video, it is only for educational purposes. And also, guys, you can share your thoughts on the comment section. Tell me, what do you feel about MAGA farmers right now are going bankrupt? Majority of them, they're losing their farms. Majority of them, we can see the tariff, the trading tariff, it has gone up. So majority of MAGA farmers, they are really crying because things have really changed in America. So kindly tell me, what do you think on the comment section, as I am going to share with you some of the comments here from the black people and also MAGA people. So having Trump for president is like having diarrhea non-stop. It's exhausting and there's shit everywhere. So this one is saying that having Donald Trump as having Trump for president, it is like having diarrhea non-stop. It's exhausting and there's this shit everywhere. So I hope you guys, you can understand about that. This one, it doesn't like how Donald Trump is ruling America right now. I'm so sick of farmers. They always claiming to be the hardest working American, but then they have always utilized cheap labor, foreign cheap labor, and at times even today slavery to do all their work. Yeah, so this now, it is to show you that the farmers in America, they have been claiming that they are hardworking people, but we all know that these people, they depend so much to these immigrant people, because these immigrant people, majority of them, they usually don't have legit papers or correct papers. So majority of the immigrant people, they ended up getting their first job in the white farmers. So now these white farmers, they usually pay them low wages. Yeah, they usually pay them low wages, and these farmers, they've been benefiting from that, because whenever these people, that are selling their products, their maize, their corns, they usually have more money because of these people, they usually pay low wages to these immigrant people to help them in their work. So right now, they are now crying because these people, they are no more, and black people, they have refused to work in their farms, because black people, they know that these people, they usually pay low wages, and black people cannot take that low wages that the white farmers, they are giving out to the immigrant people. And that's why black people, they have relaxed to not to go to work in their farms. So we have another: no matter how bad it gets, they never blame him. That amazes me. The cult of stupidity. Yeah, so you can see also, this is to tell you that even if Donald Trump is stepped down right now, and also we have another white people who's coming into power, these people, they don't listen. They will still vote against their own interests. So right now, these people, they better stop complaining, because these people, we all know that these people, they always vote against their own interests. For so many years, they have been voting against their own interests. So right now, they have started to feel how to vote against your own interests can sometimes turn out. So we have another comment here. This one is saying, meanwhile in Australia, we have reached full capacity in our beef export and a premium price. Thank you so much, Mobster Lobster. You have made Australia great again. Dear MAGA farmers, eat the tariff. Wow. Ignorance on farmers in the USA is overwhelming. Make me feel very proud to be a Mexican farmer living in paradise. Yeah, Trump said he loves the uneducated. So you can see Trump say that he loves the uneducated. And then another one we have here, it's too late. China has found a dependable supplier. The Chinese can still buy American soybeans at a higher price, but they are not stupid. A win for Brazil. Remember who fired the first shot. China is defending themselves. Yeah, so we have been seeing the trade war between China and United States. Farmers, last time I didn't water my crop and they all died. I think I'll do that again. Jesman, these farmers are like toddler. The contract these farmers had are gone never. Let me try to read again. The contract these farmers had are gone, never coming back. The rest of the world has moved on. Bye. Yeah, so this one is saying that right now the rest of the world they have moved on because of MAGA people coming out and made a bad choice. Exactly, no bailout. Farmers who voted for Trump need to sit in their shit that's they created. Yeah, so this one is saying that you guys, you should stop crying. You need to sit on your shit. So you better stop crying because you are the one who brought all this problem. They are following their racist instinct, period. So they are saying that they are following their racist instinct, period. These 85% of things that I can't control. You can 100% who you voted for. Show how racism is built into the fabric of America. So you can see so many people here, they are now sending a message to these MAGA farmers, telling them that you are the ones who brought all these mistakes, so you need to correct it yourself. What year shall what year shall sow, so shall year reap. That once a lucrative soybean and corn businesses with China is forever lost to Brazil. This is MAGA Trump payback for 4. Yeah, so you can see I am not American, far away from you, so-called a developing country, but every day, every moment I have a chance, I always watch podcasts on America, so funny, entertaining, so ludicrous, seeing so-called one country look like a joke for my sanity. So this one is saying that he has seen a lot of podcasts and you see that America, it is now falling down because this it is, you know, America, it is a first world country, but what is happening right now, America, it is going to fall down. The USA is the USA as we knew, it is gone, dead. These Canadians have given up caring about them. Leave us alone. Have a good life. God help you. So this one is saying that the USA as we knew it gone. So this one is saying that United States right now, it is gone, and that's why I've been telling you that American dream right now, it is gone, and America, it will not soon recover from the hands of this administration. So kindly guys, remember to give a video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, like this video, share, and also comment. See you on my next one. Bye bye guys.